It's go time, baby! Welcome back to the most ridiculous marketing podcast with your host, James Hacking. That is me. Yeah, fucking come on. And with Luke, Tub, and a new guest, Chris Boomtown Harvey.
No, you know what? I can't take Boomtown away.
You've taken it. Mate, you've taken it. I've christened you. You are now Boomtown because Boomtown is no more. So guys, it's been a very, very, very long time since we did a podcast. It's been over a year. Been a long time. Sorry, just making sure that I've got my notes.
People are craving the podcast.
Yeah, they are, mate.
Yeah.
People are DMing me on Instagram saying, where is the podcast? When's the next one coming out?
Was that me? Did I?
No.
Different people to me.
Different people. Yeah, loads of people are asking, where is it? But it's back now. We are back.
Back with
weekly.
a vengeance.
Weekly episodes coming to your ears on Wednesdays. No, Thursdays. Film on Wednesdays, release on Thursdays. So, yeah, we're back. Anyway, guys, what has been going on in your lives? It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, it's been a while. I think it's been a year since I've seen you, Luke.
Yeah.
I mean, probably same for you, James. I know I did see you very briefly.
Saw once.
So maybe once.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this thing, I don't know if you've heard about it. This like coronavirus has been going on for the last year or so. Yeah.
What is it?
Well, for context, for everyone who is listening to this podcast, for context, we used to do this podcast every single week. There was banter. There was laughs.
Memories.
It was, and now it's been ruined. We were getting big views. Views. If we'd been doing podcasts every single week until now, we'd easily have 1 million subscribers.
Yeah,
like
and we'll come back to that
easily.
later.
We would have had our Spotify deal.
Yeah, where is that? Where is that podcast deal coming?
Some say that Harry and Meghan's big cash injection was actually ours.
Yeah, they ruined it. So we've not done one of these since March 2020. So if this is popping up on your Spotify timelines and you're wondering why you subscribed, keep subscribed because there's gold coming, guys. There's absolute gold coming. But anyway, new lineup. Well, you're the same, Luke. You're still here, but Chris,
I'm making my podcast debut, guys. I've got big boots to fill. I've got big Boomtown boots to fill.
Yeah, Dan's
been
unfortunately been lured into the world of recruitment, as you do. So he's gone. Who is no more. Rest in peace, Boomtown. But anyway, he's gone. Big names are coming to the pod, so stay tuned. Yeah,
everyone will be surprised.
But Chris, you're a bit of a podcast veteran, aren't you? You've got some big boots. Well, sitting at the table.
Yeah, I mean,
tell us about your podcast, Chris. What's it all about?
So
let me just turn this right now. I'll bring you back. No, go on. Go on. Tell us about your podcast.
I fell right into that one. So myself,
for anyone who didn't notice, I muted his microphone.
Myself and my co-host Lloyd Williams, we host a podcast called Brand Wars, where
plugging his own podcast,
where we compare and contrast two different brands. They could be completely different. So we've done looked at brands like Spotify and Twitch to Peloton and Burberry. We look at the origins of the brand. We give out awards like the George Clooney Award for the best celebrity or influencer marketing campaign they've done, James Dyson Award for the best product they've ever made, lots of fun facts. And actually, very recently, we started getting on some really cool guests on. So
basically what you're saying is your podcast is better than ours.
Yeah.
That's
and
what you're
more
saying.
Consistently uploaded, which
I don't know. So we only really started kicking it off last summer and we had a few periods where
interesting timing.
Yeah. They'd see
a lot going on.
They'd seen what we were about. They were like, they've seen the most ridiculous marketing podcast, and they want a bit of it. They want the fame.
There was a big old gap in the market where the most ridiculous marketing podcast was.
Where are you guys going on a Wednesday morning? Oh, have some fun, are you?
Oh, you want to be involved?
Yeah.
No,
my own podcast.
But now you're in the hot seat, Chris. But I'll tell you what, you've got some big boots to fill, and there's lots of people wanting to be in that seat. So any poor performances, you're out the door, mate.
Well, I mean, I hope my audition's all right then.
Well, this isn't an audition, mate. This
shit.
This is the real thing.
You're straight in. Anyway, so bring the news on. A little bit of news. Real quick news. What I want to know, guys, is what you were up to during COVID. Any weird habits that you developed? Any news that you'd like to share? Are you all cryptocurrency millionaires like everyone else?
No, like I've seen all that sort of crypto and NFT stuff, and it is the furthest thing I think for my interest. I have no idea about any of it whatsoever. I can't. I
I'm
don't know.
so interested in it.
Really?
100%. Oh, if I knew more
He's
about
hooked.
it, I'd be a millionaire because I'm that interested. But I just don't know anything about it. I don't know what an NFT is. I thought about it yesterday, and I was like,
non-fungible token.
yeah, but what is that?
Yeah.
I was like, NFTs. They're going to be massive. 100% they'll be massive. Gary Vee loves them anyway. So
They're already massive, aren't they?
So they are, yeah. People are buying them for fucking billions or whatever.
But any weird habits? Weird habits developed? You told me one about you yesterday, Chris. You said you had a weird habit you developed. Or you not want to mention that one?
I wouldn't say it's a weird habit, but like
for you, maybe not.
We so I think during lockdown, like I think Pokemon cards made a bit of a resurgence. Like saw Logan Paul do a whole like series on them where he did like live streams, bought like a big box for like I think $300,000 or something, and
Madness.
yeah, absolutely crazy. Like live streamed the whole thing, and you know, of course, that got me thinking, fuck, maybe I've got some money hidden in a cupboard somewhere. Go and ask my mum.
300 grand in the cupboard.
Yeah, go and ask mum. She's like, no, you threw it away when you were like 12 because you didn't think Pokemon would be a thing. And like seeing on YouTube, some of these guys like Randolph, his channel's now growing to like 500,000 subs.
They just open Pokemon cards.
Yeah, Pokemon cards, like they all getting valued. But it's like Gary Vee though, where he chats about sports cards and stuff. So it's very, very similar. And yeah, I cracked the other day, and I went
You bought some.
I bought some.
How much did you spend?
I spent 80 quid on this one that is like just one card, just to kind of say like I had a collectible item.
Yeah.
But it's like a Gem Mint 10, like pristine card. It's been graded and stuff. Which
you're talking in foreign language,
which is like
my
which is
friend.
pretty cool.
Oh, you don't know what Gem Mint 10 is?
No, but it's just like, so it's graded like the highest grade you can possibly have. So it's just like a collector's item.
So what is it worth then? Oh, jinx.
So yeah, it's, I mean, at the value that I paid for it at 80 pounds. But like I bought it off. So Randolph has this shop, it's like Randolph Poke or whatever, and it was the cheapest one even he was selling. It's like from his own collection. Like it goes.
So it's got his hands. His hands have been on it.
I mean, not bothered about that. But yeah, like he was selling some of his collection for like thousands and thousands of pounds, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna take like the bottom one I could find and just say I've got a collector's item.
Fair enough.
So are these the same Pokemon cards that were released when we were?
So the ones when we were kids.
Years ago?
So the ones when we were kids, like, you know, early 2000s, those are the ones with like that are worth mega money.
Oh, so you've got some of those.
But now, no. Yeah, those
I probably have got some somewhere.
Somewhere.
It's probably worth checking out. Like some of them are worth serious money. But like I think with anything, they bring out new editions and stuff. So the one that I think that I bought came out last year or 2019.
Fair enough.
But yeah, still in like really, really good condition. So still worth, you know, a little bit of money.
Nice.
But I was like,
so you're now going to be a Pokemon god.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Well,
Spot on.
Got to catch them all.
Is the word. Is a
So
Pokemon.
so Luke, any COVID news?
Well, I got into buying some crypto.
Which one did you get?
I've got loads.
All of them.
all of the
Right.
cryptos.
I think I've struck gold in a mentality of if I just buy all of them and one of them explodes. So like I've got one that's like worth less than a penny. If that goes to $1.
Speak into the mic, please. Or bring the mic a little bit closer.
If that goes to $1, then my £1 of it I've bought or whatever becomes worth £1,000 more. Okay, so that's like simple. And I think I've
quick maths.
done it quite, yeah. Oh yeah.
Anything else? Any big news?
Well, the reason I got into crypto.
Here we go.
We're both
Here we go.
I'll take on a bit of a story. Was that I got into GME, and that exploded. And the reason I got into GME was that I'm having a baby.
Oh my goodness! Oh, here we go. Here we go. Celebrations.
Yeah. So hopefully, little lad, when he comes along, he'll be able to watch the podcast and go, "That's my dad."
I'm just going to try and see if this is the correct one.
And we say bye-bye.
No, wrong one.
Boom.
No.
I'm really rich.
There we go. That's the one we wanted.
Yeah.
So that is why Luke has that jingle.
I'm really rich.
Of crypto.
Yeah. And so far, I've lost 200 quid. No.
Yeah, there we go. But
What about
We live in
Doge? Doge. Yeah,
hang on, Chris. Let's just not fly over that he's having a kid. We don't want to know. Let's talk about that. So you got busy during lockdown, yeah?
Busy once, yeah.
Yeah.
One shot, one goal, Gary Lineker.
Get you in the Euro squad. I feel like we need to actually get into some topics. And one topic that is hot in the press at the moment is Logan Paul against Floyd Mayweather, which is set for June 6th in Miami. And it's been picked up by Sky Box Office. You have to pay for this fight. £16.95. I'm not going to pay for it, but in the US it's probably more expensive. So, Mayweather's taken on Logan Paul. So Mayweather, one of the greatest fighters of all time, he's 50-0 against arguably one of the worst fighters of all time.
Yeah. Otherwise branded as one of the world's biggest dickheads against Logan Paul.
I think, okay, yeah. He got me out there. Yes, he's 0-1 as a pro fighter. But fair play to him. He's stepping in there with an all-time great, whilst his brother Jake fights, basketball players. And he's pitching himself as a pro fighter. So Logan Paul's come out and he said yesterday that he vows to make this the worst day of Floyd Mayweather's life. So he thinks he's too big, he's too strong. If he could box, he can beat him. But
he keeps calling him grandpa as well, doesn't he? I'm like,
he does look a little bit old these days
with the beard.
Floyd.
Yeah. He needs to go back to the goatee.
So there's been a lot of chat about this fight since the very first press conference. I think it was about a month ago now, when Jake Paul stole Floyd Mayweather's hat and all hell broke loose, and Floyd said he was going to end Jake Paul's life. And that all started because Floyd said he could beat Logan and Jake in the same night, which he probably easily could. Off the back of that, after all hell broke loose, Jake ended up with a bloody nose and a black eye and a catchphrase known as "Got Your Hat." So he got your hat tattooed on his leg, and he started a clothing line off the back of it selling hats. Marketing geniuses, these two. What do you think? What do you think about Logan and Jake Paul? Like, not just, don't think about them personally. What do you think about them as actual marketeers? Because I'd
love to be him.
100%. I think Logan Paul, what he's done, like with his Maverick Club thing as well, it's kind of like for subscribers, kind of like Patreon. The amount of money he's made off that is just mental.
Mad, isn't it?
You two have got quite similar coloured hair. You could be the sort of dark-haired versions of him.
The English Logan Paul and Jake Paul. No, but I like
Levi and John Paul.
They always seem to be in the news. Yeah. Whatever it is they're doing, people are talking about it.
And they always do it good as well.
Yeah.
The Sidemen are always talking about how they've talked in the past about how they'd love to have the same kind of merch sales and same exposure as those guys. They obviously do social media so well.
Yeah. They've absolutely nailed it.
Even how Logan kind of came back after that sort of controversy a few years ago, with the whole Japan incident.
I think we spoke about this in the podcast, that one, actually, when it actually first happened. Do you not remember this?
No, what did he do?
The suicide forest. He filmed like a dead body, like hanging from the trees. Because I think there's a forest in Japan where people go to commit suicide. And this was at the time when vlogging was the big thing. Like, everyone was vlogging every single day. And he was renowned for going to countries and being a bit of an arsehole. Like, I think he jumped into the river in Venice like naked, and that just like offended all the Italians. And then he went to Japan and filmed a dead body hanging in a forest, and that obviously offended the whole world. And he came back from being probably the most hated, vilified person, and rightly so, to now he's not. He's a lot better than Jake. I think I quite like Logan. I think he's all right.
Yeah.
He seems to have a level head on him, whereas Jake seems to
have matured. Yeah.
Is he older than Logan? Older than Jake?
Yeah, not by much, like 2 years.
Right. Oh. Well,
but what do you think about the fight? Anyway, let's go back to that.
I would love to see both of them fighting Mayweather in the same fight. That could be
in the same fight.
Yeah,
like a triple threat.
That could be the next big thing.
Yeah,
like a Royal Rumble style boxing match, but Mayweather would end up looking like Bruce Lee, wouldn't he?
Apparently, last night Mayweather was doing a clubhouse, and Jake Paul managed to get in, and he did like a got your stage platform. Or something, got your stage, something like that. And apparently Floyd just didn't react to it, so it made Jake look like a bit of a dick. To be fair,
I mean, he doesn't have to try too hard to do that, does he? Really?
Yeah, he seems.
Just shut up.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not sure how I feel about the fight, to be honest. Like, as you mentioned, like Mayweather, one of the greatest fighters of all time, 50-0, and is it just a waste of time? But he's probably just like, look, mate, I'm getting $100 million either way. Yeah, it's really not a big deal for me. I'll knock you out. I'll teach you a lesson, and you get, and I get exposure to your audience, and you can say that you fought me. Yeah. And you just be like, yeah, fine.
I wish he was fighting Jake Paul, because I'd rather him beat Jake Paul up than Logan Paul. Yeah, like fully.
Well, especially given that he's already been beaten by KSI, who we all watched that fight.
Yeah,
KSI wasn't amazing.
KSI was awful. Like if Logan Paul had not hit him while he was on the floor, that fight was finished, because he was done from that like uppercut. He only won because he got points deducted. Yeah, but
because he punched him on the back of the head, didn't he? Like
so he uppercutted him, and he was going down, and then while he was on the floor, he hit him in the head. So
it's like, mate, pick it. Yeah, pick what you want to do: MMA or boxing. Pick one or the other.
But there's no way Logan stands any chance in this. There's just absolutely no way. Like if you watch him actually hitting a punch bag, he's terrible. Like he's really bad. Yeah. He's so upright and stiff, and he's got no movement. Why am I analysing Logan Paul as a fighter?
Mate, what's he getting for it? What's the purse? What's his cut of it?
Don't know, but a lot.
If Mayweather's getting 100 million, he must be getting a...
Yeah, I don't reckon he's getting 100 mil, is he?
It's something ridiculous. Even if he is, right, it's considerably more than what Logan's getting out of this.
But the thing is that people are slating Floyd for taking this fight, but if you're going to get 100 million to really, like, you're not going to break a sweat. If you're one of the greatest fighters of all time, some not little dweeb, but a guy off YouTube should be like a walk in the park.
Yeah, it's like people doing like speeches and stuff after they've stopped being prime minister. Like, who
easy
cares? Easy money, yeah. And then you just go and do a couple. As long as he's not then going, I'm 51 now, because to be honest, he's 49, isn't he?
Yeah. McGregor's a legitimate opponent because he was a champion in UFC, but he wasn't really a boxer. But I still
don't count it, because look at Ben Askren a couple of weeks
but Askren's a completely different level to McGregor. McGregor actually was like he was an amateur boxer as well, so he had some level of ability, and most of his knockouts were from the left hook.
He did left hook.
But anyway, this is obviously the boxing podcast again, so at least we've continued in that vein.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was going to say, you're analysing his fighting style, and I know you're a keen boxer. What do you reckon? Could you take him?
Who, Logan Paul?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Not a problem. Get me in a pub, like, no worries.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, like absolutely. We're calling him out.
Call him out. I'll call out Logan Paul right here, right now. Yeah. Logan Paul, me and you, we go.
Zahid's the promoter. Here he is.
He's vlogging every step of the way.
Look, I'll take 20 million to just batter him. Why not? Sign me up. If this podcast had a few million subscribers, I'd be in there. I reckon. You just wait. A shot.
You wait till next Thursday.
Yeah, 6 years. Logan, are you ready for it? Anyway, let's move on. From that. Let's do a little Lloyd's Corner. I'm going to play this out loud. Whatever he asks, we answer.
Right, first episode back, so I'll make it an easy one. You get to pick one celebrity and one boxer to get into the ring and have a fight.
I feel like I just answered that. Go on, one of you guys. Who'd you pick?
I don't want to get knocked out.
It's a money fight as well. You're getting paid for this.
Yeah, you're getting paid, but I want to get someone who's got a massive profile and no actual boxing ability. Logan Paul. I'll fight Jake Paul. If you're fighting Logan, I'll fight Jake.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Can't, mate.
I know. Well, so it's one celebrity and one boxer.
Let me play it again.
You get to pick one celebrity and one boxer to get into the ring and have a fight.
Okay, so we're picking people against people.
I love that. He said it's an easy one, and we've listened to it like 4 times.
Yeah, it really is. Okay. Anyone got any thoughts?
Who's the guy who played Hector in Troy?
Banner. Eric Banner.
Don't know who that
he'd be
is.
my celebrity. What, you've never watched Troy?
No. I'm going Hemsworth, mate. I want Thor to get in the ring.
Yeah.
Want Thor, and he can have either of the Logans, to be honest.
The Logans.
Any of the Logans.
Is Dave Bautista, he's MMA, isn't he?
Don't know.
He's an actor now.
He's an actor now.
Yeah.
So probably have him against Tony Belly.
Ooh.
Similar sizes.
Actually, I bet David Haye would come back for a fight at some point. I reckon he'd come back. So yeah, put Thor against David Haye. That'd be quite interesting.
Does Thor get the hammer?
Oh. No, you know what? He'll go sans hammer. He'll just get.
So here's mine. I'm going Anthony Joshua's coming into the ring.
Yep.
And the person that I would like him to fight, who I would love to see just get absolutely destroyed and just go into like a hole and never come out again. Piers Morgan. Like, oh my God, I would pay good money to see that fight. Like, Piers Morgan is just, oh.
But there's a caveat that Piers Morgan is sellotaped with his hands to a chair. So like he's interviewing Joshua, but Joshua just comes in and knocks him the fuck out.
Like, he's one of those people that I feel has always been, even as a kid, I can imagine he was like a proper cheeky kid, but he always got away with it. And he continued that throughout his whole... No, listen, hang on. No, listen. He's had this like thing where he got away with saying stuff his whole life and he's never been punched in the face.
No, I disagree. That was me and you. Huh? That's me and you.
I'm not Piers Morgan.
No, but that's not him.
What do you mean?
So he's the snotty little rich kid who never... He was just like, oh yeah, whatever I do, Daddy will pay money for it.
No, but I phrased it wrong. He's a person who's got away with saying things his whole life and he's never got in trouble for it.
Yeah, but not because he's witty, funny.
No, not because of that.
Because his dad's got money or whatever.
Yeah, there you go. His dad's got money. But that's we're arguing about the same thing.
You're on the same team,
guys. But I'm just saying he's got away with things his whole life and he deserves to get like studs up, 2-footed, broken legs.
He's like Joshua. He's like that sort of bully that would be like, look, I'm not bullying you. I'm just telling you my opinion. I think you're fat. I think you're stupid. I can tell you that it's my opinion.
Hold on, Chris. It's my podcast. You can't come here and say that.
Not you. Hey, I'm channeling my inner Piers Morgan.
Yeah. I know what you did because I'm not fat.
Yeah. If you want to get out of that locker, you'll say that Piers Morgan's the best, all right?
So good question, Lloyd, but I feel like I've won that round, definitely, because I've just gone for like...
Yeah, that's fair. 1 point.
Yeah, 1 point.
He's bullying you there.
Yeah.
Keep me up. Yeah. FIFA have announced that they brought in former QPR player Kiyan Prince to be added as a player in the new FIFA game to mark the 15th anniversary of his death. And if you don't know about Kiyan, he was a QPR academy player and he was stabbed to death age 15, so he'd be 30 now, good maths, trying to break up a fight in school. So he's been added as a squad member to the QPR team 21 to 2022, and it's quite interesting. They've used it was features of his dad and then also imagery of how they feel he would have looked when he's 30. So they've sort of brought him to life into the game. And you can actually get him in FIFA kickoff mode and career mode. And more interestingly enough, his dad was actually a professional boxer as well, which ties in even nicely to this podcast because that's all we seem to talk about is fighting and boxing. But I think it's a pretty amazing tribute, especially, he was said to have been going right to the top. So bringing him back to life and bringing him into the game is pretty epic, especially with all the problems around knife crime we've got in London. So guys, what do you think about that?
Yeah, great. Lovely.
Anything else to add?
I'd want to know what his stats were, because if they give him stats from when he was 15, he probably is going to just get, there's no point, don't pass.
But they said everyone always says he was going to be a great player, but you never know, do you?
15 to 20 is when he develops, so you know what I mean?
But it's amazing they brought him back to life for this as well.
But they should give him all 99s then, and as well, because then it would be like everyone wants to have him on the team. Everyone
and it brings more awareness to knife crime as well. If he's 99, everyone wants to be that player.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember when like FIFA 94 or whatever it was, and all I wanted to do was be David Beckham and score hat-tricks with him. And all I'd do is just pass whenever I was through on goal, Beckham would be running, pass it to Beckham, bang it in from 18 yards away, and that's exactly what would happen with, well, probably not because I'm weird, but...
And the QPR stadium is actually called the Kiyan Prince Stadium. And his dad's got the Kiyan Prince Foundation in memory of his son.
When did it change from Loftus Road?
I think it was 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Oh, fair play.
I think I'm not sure if this is correct, but I'm going to say this thinking it is correct. I think QPR have given him a squad number.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I saw that as well.
Yeah,
I don't know what number they gave him.
I think it was 30. Yeah. I think it was 30.
Oh. Yeah. I think it's a really, really cool thing they've done. It's great to bring publicity, not just to him as a player, like what he's done at QPR, obviously them as a fan base, they'll know everything about him and the work that his dad's done. But I think the next best thing for, what would a young player want to be in? He'd want to be in FIFA. And that is like a great way of raising awareness for him, the trust and everything like that in between. Like we saw, I think FIFA a few years ago had Alex Hunter, like their sort of AI player, which you could do like career mode in. I think having Kian on there as well will be really, really cool. Because obviously what goes...
Because I don't play FIFA, and I've probably not done as much research into this topic as I should have done. Can you actually play as him as like career mode like Alex Hunter, or is it just like that you can be that player and you bring him through like the old career mode where you start in QPR, you build up?
I think it's the latter, like where you are QPR, not so much like that.
Got it, yeah.
Like storyline.
Yeah.
But having someone like that who's been built onto the game specifically for this, I think is super, super cool and a great sort of tribute. Because I imagine, 15 years ago playing FIFA for him, I know
all kids do it, all teenagers, all footballers do it. Yeah. When they're waiting for a game, or you see them, they're always playing FIFA against each other.
100%. Like I can imagine, like if I was a pro, like the first thing I'd want to do is find myself on Football Manager or FIFA and change
my hair.
That's
what you always did, wasn't it? You change the boots, you change all that sort of stuff. No, it's amazing. Especially knife crime is rife. Like I don't know what it was like 15 years ago, but now everyone seems to be carrying knives, especially young kids. So hopefully this can raise awareness on a game that all teenagers seem to play. So I think it's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally agree. I think it'd be really cool, and maybe we can see more of that from other teams, like maybe the Hillsborough 96, like for Liverpool or something.
Every team's
got
a story. Every team's got a story. So if more can be done to raise awareness about whatever it is, the better. Especially now with all the racism as well. So FIFA can surely somehow use that as a platform to combat that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm surprised they don't actually. I'm surprised that
maybe they do. Maybe they do.
FIFA football leagues and stuff around the world on Twitch and whatnot. They must, or they should.
Well, I know on like Ultimate Team and stuff, you can get like stadium banners and things for the say no to racism and things like that. So I know they have. They'll release like new cards every week to give an incentive so people can earn these sort of things. But yeah, I mean, they could easily do more.
Here's a question, again, because I don't play FIFA, but I do know with all the cards and the upgrades, you've got to pay for those things. So would you have to pay to get the...
No.
You earn coins like by playing games and things like that, but
and you can unlock it.
Yeah, you should be able it should be like an achievement.
Yeah, so they do give you achievements like for unlocking new players. Like you've got to hit these targets and you can get maybe, I think there's some that are like hot prospects, that sort of thing, golden boys. And if you do this, you can get an 88 version of that player. Yeah. But then, yes, there is the obviously paid version as well, where you can just pay to buy FIFA points.
That's such a mad concept, the FIFA coins, because it's not like... next season you have those players still. You've got to pay all that money again to get to the players, get the upgrades. Yeah. Whoever brought that into FIFA, they must have a big pat on their back, because before that it literally was just a game. Now it's a game within a game, and you're paying to.
It's even more than that. Like with the transfer market for Ultimate Team, you're watching YouTubers and they can be like, I've got this amazing, well, they unpacked this amazing player, go buy him, he's got 90 pace or something. And it just creates like a complete flux in the transfer market. So this player who's maybe like 70 for, plays for Leeds or something, like that. And everyone just tries to buy him. So it's now worth the same as, a guy that plays, he's got 80 odd rating for Liverpool. So that's the bit that really annoys me.
So do you buy coins yourself?
I did.
Honestly?
No, honestly, it was the first time.
That tirade that you've just unleashed is the...
No, like I bought, I think I spent 30 quid on them once to like see if it would make any sort of drastic difference.
Did it?
No, not at all.
Still losing.
100%, yeah. But there's, you watch the guys on YouTube and they're spending like hundreds and hundreds of pounds so they can just do pack opening videos, and their teams are incredible. And I don't know how many games you have to play for your team to be actually any good. And the most frustrating thing is, like you just said, for FIFA 21 that's going to come out later this year, or is it
next season? Is it September? Is it September time when they bring out the games? Is it
thinking more?
Yeah, I want to say it's like
I think it's September, isn't it? Because I always remember it comes out in September. When I was a kid, I really wanted FIFA, but I didn't get it until Christmas.
Yeah,
I think it's September because
it's late in the year, definitely. Whatever it is,
it's the new season, isn't it? After they've got all the new signings and stuff.
Then as you say, like when the new one comes out, you start from scratch again. Yeah. So you're just like, oh, great.
And there's people that have invested a lot of money.
People just throw money at it straight away.
I can understand YouTubers because they earn the ad revenue of opening these packs, so it makes sense. But
And they can
kids,
claim it in expenses as well.
Yeah, kids and other people that are just spending thousands and thousands and thousands. Like, if you're not winning anything or getting anything with that, it's just, what is the point?
Where does the money come from?
Yeah.
I used to put £2 of petrol in my car because I couldn't afford any more. Let alone buying 30 quid worth of coins and doing it again.
Yeah, that's anyway, people must have good paper rounds these days. Yeah, anyway, so Kiyan Prince, awesome that FIFA have done that. If I had FIFA, I'd have a little go, see what it was like.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna when I get back, I'm gonna.
So I think it's for the new game, right? For the new game, not this game. The new one coming out.
I thought it was on this one at the
Oh,
moment.
is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
But they'll probably put him on the new one if he's in the QPR squad as well, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it would be both.
His dad, like, I remember watching him on Soccer AM. He's a big fella. He looked like he was a decent boxer. I can't remember what his record was, but he looked like he was very good. Someone I would not want to answer for Lloyd's Corner. Okay, anyway, so the last topic, hopefully quick topic that we can get into. We haven't really used the jingles. That's the only one I remember.
Just for vibes.
Just for vibes.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
Okay, I do.
2 hours later.
Yeah, okay, so that's us probably 2 hours later after talking about these topics today. Channels that are blown up on YouTube during the last year or so. I tell you what, I don't know why, but I got massively into watching food on YouTube, simply because you probably couldn't go to restaurants. You could only really get takeout and all that sort of stuff. And for some reason on my timeline, there was a lot of food, a lot of people going to food takeaways and reviewing some of the best stuff up and down the country. And there's this one guy that he came on my YouTube timeline, I think probably about 2 months ago. And if I described to you this person as Peter Kay, you'll know what he looks like and sounds like. But anyway, so he randomly appeared on my YouTube timeline. So I clicked on the video and it was like, it's called Rate My Takeaway, this channel. It's really, really interesting. So this guy goes around reviewing takeaways up north and gives a score. And real simple concept, but I don't know why it appeared, but it did. And I'm so glad it did, because the content on there is fantastic. So clicked on one video. It had around 600 views. And I was like, why has this guy only got 600 views? It's quite decent. But there was like tons of comments on it. And it must have been like loyal people that had been following him for a while. But then I clicked on his channel. He'd done like 4 videos. And then every single week, one video kept appearing on my YouTube timeline. And I clicked on it. Next week, he's got 5,000 subscribers. I'm like, okay, he's going places. Next week, 20,000. I'm like, okay, I need to see what's going on with this guy. All of his videos are getting hundreds of thousands of views. Next week, 50,000. I click on the next day, 75,000. Next day, 100,000. This guy's like built up a channel in like the last 2 months. I think he's got 280,000 subscribers now. Yeah. And all he does is go around to takeaways in the Leeds, Sheffield, Manchester areas and reviews the takeaway. So what he'll do, go in, get the food, he'll buy a lot of food. And then he'll pitch his little table outside the restaurant, and he'll sit there in the street eating the food, reviewing it. Super simple concept, but it is blown up. And apparently the reason he's doing it is because his wife died like a year or so ago, and he wanted like some sort of like release to enjoy. But I'm telling you, go and watch one of the videos, Rate My Takeaway. It's fantastic.
I watched one the other day and I saw it and I was kind of sworn blind. It said, I visited New York. And he hadn't. He'd gone to York.
And that's how they get you.
It was pissing with rain. He sat outside.
Yeah.
That's the one I saw as well. Of him eating like the burrito wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a whole family meal of stuff.
But the places he goes to eat, like they look really interesting. They look like little golden nuggets that he spotted as well.
They're all the places that where you're desperate for a takeaway, but you always say to yourself, "No, I won't, because I don't want to get fat and all the other stuff." He goes and eats them.
But my favourite one was when he reviewed this donut place. So the donuts had like Kinder Bueno inside, like big chocolate donuts. So these monster donuts. And he was there just eating them. And there was just like the chocolate all over his face. And he was like loving it. And the commentary that he was giving, it was just so funny. He was like, yeah, I quite like that one, guys. It's just so funny. Like I love that this guy, his channel's blown up, because there's people like that I can guarantee there's loads of people on YouTube that do the same thing but don't get anywhere. And this guy if there's one person that deserves it, like it looks like he deserves it, because he enjoys what he does.
You know, like even after watching the video, even just him in the car going to his place, like
All right, guys, how we doing? That's
Hey, hey.
That's the start of the video.
I mean, literally
On the road again?
Nailed it on the head by saying it's Pizza K. It's all I could think
Yeah.
of when I was watching it. And
Garlic
yes,
bread.
It is fantastic. Like it is just so good. I'm so happy. I'd love to get him on this podcast. Like when we've got some notoriety, he is one person I would love to get on this podcast to talk to.
Maybe we just pay him to come down.
Yeah, maybe.
He'll probably we'll buy him. What's the nearest takeaway to here?
Oh, he'd enjoy the
there's actually
leather lane.
Yorkshire pudding burrito place on Leather Lane as
Oh,
well.
is there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we went last week. Well, I didn't have it, but we were walking down there with Jack. I think last week saw it. It's a lovely addition to the Leather Lane market.
We could do something different. Do a challenge, like one from every one of them.
Yeah.
What, come back in and review it?
Yeah.
There's another guy that I've watched as well called Food Review Club. Quite similar. Another big guy. He's from like the Midlands. He goes up and down the country reviewing places. His is quite interesting as well. He goes to like proper street food places, and his are quite good. But it's weird because I was watching his channel before I found the other guy, Rate My Takeaway, and his channel just doesn't seem to have gone anywhere. Whereas this guy started with nothing and he just exploded in the last like couple of months. Anyway, enough about my YouTube algorithm. What about you guys? Seen anything good?
I actually got hooked on this channel, and it's called Work the Space, and it is
I've seen it.
So it's a football manager channel, and he does like sort of let's play videos, and he had a whole series called Park to Prem where he started off at Boston United,
Solid team.
and then went on to got them promoted, went to Lincoln, then to Nottingham Forest, and I mean I hadn't played Football Manager for maybe like 3 or 4 years, so it's just quite interesting, like seeing how he did things. He made transfers and stuff. You just basically like watch how he plays, and started another series recently called like Win One Take One. So he put on this new database server, but from January 2001. So whoever, or the 2001-2002 season, he took Charlton, who were bottom at Christmas, and just to see how well he would do. So if you won against a team, you got to take a player from their team. So like say if you beat Leeds.
Lee Bowyer, 2001.
Lee Bowyer, Mark Viduka.
Alan Smith.
But
Smithy, yeah.
what he used to do for every game.
Nigel Martin in goal.
He had a big wheel, and obviously he had like different transfer budgets all the way up to like 20 million. So spin the wheel, whatever value it was, that's the max he could go and take someone's player. But if he lost, he had to give away a player who had the worst rating in his team, like who started that day. So like by the end, I think he had Scott Parker, Michael Carrick in midfield. Don't think he did too much in defence, but it's like Michael Ricketts from Bolton.
Striker.
I
think he got an England cap, he did.
Probably around that time.
Signed a few decent players, and I think that you've managed to finish at mid-table. It's just something like that where the videos are really quick. They're like 10, 20 minutes long. I think he'd been grinding on the channel like for years, and he literally just said, at the beginning of lockdown, he finally quit his job. Like he was working at Creative Assembly, the other sort of the gaming publisher, to take this thing full time as he'd gone over 100,000 subs. And it's really, really interesting. Just like a really easy 20-minute watch, and
Yeah, he is good. I didn't realise he'd blown up so much, but
And they were daily as well. They were daily as well. So like the views weren't massive, but because he was putting content out every single day and now doing like Twitch live streams and things like that. Yeah, it's just really, really interesting, I thought.
There's one I stumbled across as well. It actually came on my Twitter. It was like a Scouse lad, and he was doing GTA, and you can do like GTA, like the role play type stuff. So him and his mates are in this like UK server, and they were like being, Scousers and just going around nicking stuff. And these other guys were being policemen. So like they'll pretend to be policemen, like arresting them, giving them all their orders. And this Scouse lad, it was just like so funny. That he's like, "Why are you fucking touching me, ass officer? Get off!" He's like, "Why are you fucking arresting me? Fuck off, you dickhead!" It's like so funny. It's like, what? Firstly, why are these people being policemen? Like pretending to be policemen? It's just baffling. And there was another one where he was in this car park lot, and there was like policemen there, and there was this girl, and he went, "All right, girl, how you doing?" And the girl was like, "Just leave me alone, just leave me alone." He's like, "What's your Snapchat?" and then these policeman officer goes, "Excuse me, are you okay over here, guys?" The girl goes, "No, you won't leave me alone." "What? I just fucking asked her for a Snapchat." And he goes, "Right, you're under arrest." So you can't arrest me for like asking for a Snapchat.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that video. Do you remember the sixth form prefect or whatever it is? And
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, that's a good one. Before we go, I'm going to announce that Brentford are going to the Premier League on Saturday at 3:00 against Swansea. Brentford are going to win and they're going to be in the Premier League next season.
By the time this is released, will it have happened?
No, this is going out tomorrow. Right, Zed? Going out tomorrow? Yep, you
So
nodded.
it will be a genuine prediction.
So Brentford are going to the Premier League. My team
Yeah, I agree.
are going up. And next year,
Let's go, boys.
next year they're getting into Europe. Come on.
Tap your knees in the Brentford.
What a day. What a day that was. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure to talk to you for 45 minutes of my life, but I would like to end it right now. Thank you. Let's see you next week for the next episode.